in the sun where I find. I know it's hard sometimes. Pieces of peace in the sun's peace of mind. I know it's hard sometimes. Yeah, I think about the end just way too much. But it's fun to fantasize on my enemies who wouldn't wish who I was. But it's fun to fantasize. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my I die for you, that's easy to say. We have a list of people that we would take. A bullet for them, a bullet for you, a bullet for everybody in this room. But they don't seem to see many bullets coming through. See many bullets coming through. Metaphorically, I'm the man, but literally, I don't know what I do. I live for you, and that's how you do. Even harder to say when you know it's not true. Even harder to write when you know it's connected with people back home. It's like talking to you, but then you ignore them still. All these questions, they're falling like, who would you live for? Who would you die for? Then would you ever kill? Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride.
What's up, everyone? How you doing tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the very first episode of Thursday Skate Night Talk Show. And I'm your host, OG Skate Guru, Joker Way Too Hype. How's everybody doing? And here on Thursday Skate Night Talk Show, we're going to talk about, yep, you guessed it, skateboards. Of course, we're going to talk about skateboarding. We're going to talk about the history of skateboarding. We're going to talk about your favorite video segments, people. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw in some tutorials every once in a while. So, again, welcome to the show. This is our first episode. But most importantly, here at Thursday Skate Night Talk Show, we want everybody to just have fun. So if you like all those things, then why don't you go ahead and just hit that little subscribe button down there. You know what it looks like, the little YouTube symbol. Go ahead and push the button. Feel free to join us every Thursday night. To kick things off for our first episode of Thursday Skate Night Talk Show, you can't talk skateboarding without a skateboard. So to help us out with that, my nephew Marshall has brought all of his new skateboarding parts so we can properly demonstrate how to assemble a skateboard from start to finish. Grip tape to wheels. So here you go. Marshall, why don't you come out here and show the people what you brought today so that we can do this on the air.
Alright, so I brought some mob grip tape, just regular mob grip tape with the Real Talk skateboard deck. Got my independent trucks for it. Got the independent 8x7s.
What size trucks are those?
8?
8.0 deck? Or
8.5.
8.5?
Yep.
Alright.
Then I got the 1 1/4 independent risers. I got the 1.5 hardware, baby blue. And then I got the Rough Rider 56mm wheels.
Alright, man, I know you've been waiting, so why don't you go ahead and bust that thing out of the plastic for the first time, man?
I've been waiting.
He has been waiting on this, folks, for a minute now. He's been waiting for all his pieces to get here in the mail, and he couldn't wait for this day to come that we was going to make this video.
Oh, so smooth.
Alright, now for the grip tape, because that's where you're going to start when you assemble a skateboard. You're going to start, you need to grip it first. So we're going to go ahead and start with that step first, and you wanted it to where you could still read the Real Talk. Alright, so Marshall, he's never gripped a skateboard either, right, Marshall?
No.
So I'm going to go ahead and teach him how to grip a skateboard as I'm teaching you guys how to grip a skateboard. So first off, what we're going to do is, since he wants the two sections here, I'm going to grip the small section to show you how it's done, and then I'm going to allow you to grip the bigger section, alright? So first thing you need to do is you're going to measure how big the sections are going to be. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna measure the small section because then whatever's left will fit onto the bigger section, okay? So I'm gonna stick it to where it's hanging over just a little bit on each side, okay? And I'm gonna see where your Real Talk skateboard logo is, and I'm gonna take a razor and I'm just gonna give it a little marker right there in the grip tape. All right, just a little marker so I can see where it needs to go. All right, so then I'm gonna take that little marker that I have and I'm gonna get a flat surface. I'm gonna go ahead and use the edge of the skateboard because the edge of the skateboard is a flat surface. And I'm gonna put my mark right on the edge of that. Make sure it's straight. And I'm going to fold it right along the crease, which will make a crease in the grip tape when I unfold it. And that'll give me a marker line to go off of so I can now cut my section of grip tape out. And go ahead and grab your scissors, grab your knife, whatever you have to cut with. Kids, make sure you have an adult supervising. And we're just going to go ahead, and you can see the seam right there that we've created, right?
Yep.
And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to cut down the seam. Now everybody, how grip tape started was sometime between the late 50s and early 60s. Lots of people were experimenting and people were putting shingles from your roof. They were putting sandpaper, like wood gluing sandpaper down onto the tops of their skateboards. Some people were using like different shapes and sizes of tiles and stuff, or like little thin like sheets of different materials to kind of puzzle place onto the top of their boards to try to give them extra grip. And that's actually where grip tape originated. Nobody really knows exactly who or when exactly it started, but sometime between the late 50s and early 60s, lots of experiments were going on until finally we had our final product. And not really much has changed since it became a sheet of grip tape. So all right, now we got our piece that we're going to use for this end, okay?
Yep.
And we're going to line it up right underneath that Real Talk logo, straight across.
Yep.
Okay? And then we're going to have just a little bit hanging all the way around that tail. Okay?
Yep.
And then we're going to peel just a little bit of this grip tape off the paper. Okay? And we're going to get it lined up again, but this time we're going to stick. Stuck right there all the way across. Now when you're sticking this, you want to make sure you get no air bubbles. That's why I folded this piece over right here so I can peel and press at the same time to make it to where there's no air bubbles, as little air bubbles as you can possibly get. You hope for none, but I mean every once in a while you get an air bubble. Just try to work with it better so that you can prevent air bubbles from happening. Press as you're pulling if you want to create the least amount of air bubbles. I'm going to go ahead and hold that in for me. You want to press as you're pressing with what you're pulling. Also press out a little bit too, you know. Go in with the concave and press outward. And there we go, we have our first piece in there.
Nice.
Now this step, because you have obviously it hanging over, you have square, it looks kind of goofy. You can't really skate with that. It's going to be in the way, you know? So you can take your skate tool and you can just go around the edge like so, all the way around the edge. And if you do that, not only does it give you a perfect line for when you do your cutting, but it also kind of thins the grip tape out in that area exactly, so it's easier to cut through. And just like that, see, you have your little outline so that you can cut it now. Makes it easier for the cut.
That's good.
Alright, then you're going to take your razor blade, which I thought I had, okay there. You take your razor blade, and then you're just going to get you a nice cut started with the razor blade, and then just follow your tracing. You want to hold that board down for me?
Yeah, no problem.
And there you go. Now with this extra little piece that you have from cutting it, then just go ahead and just kind of go around the edge of your grip job. Kind of help blend the grip tape to the board and kind of just makes it so that there's nothing, no little kinks in your way or anything when you're trying to pop off a trick. And there you go, there you go. You have the first piece done, ready to, you got a tail ready to skate.
Yeah.
Now you, Marshall, you think you can handle the rest of the board so you can get this thing ready to go.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, man, brother, get it done. All right, so Marshall's ready to go ahead and jump into his part of the board. Go ahead and get the trash cleaned up, because always keep a good, clean workstation. And Marshall, it's on you now, man. This is your part. Here you go.
I'm gonna.
There's your mob, buddy.
Oh, this is a little terrifying, but I got this.
Yeah, you got this, bro. It is easy, easy peasy, man.
About that far?
Huh?
Right there.
Yeah, that should be good. Just get your line. You can even see the line in the board where the decal kind of just lines it up for you. Just make sure you get it perfectly stuck all the way across where that line is. Make sure there ain't no bubbles all the way across. And then once you make sure there's no bubbles all the way across and it's pressed real good, then you can flip this up a little bit and you get this. And as you're peeling, just make sure you're pressing with your other hand. Make sure you're pressing towards your hand, but also side to side. You don't want no bubbles in it. Bubbles will cause a problem when you're trying to do flip tricks and stuff. Bubbles will get in your way and could really be a big interference.
Yeah, you might
Plus they look bad.
got a couple, maybe not.
Trust me, just take your time. Never want to rush. Never want to rush something that's important. Okay, everyone, the first thing I want to discuss, the first thing that I want to go ahead and talk about is, yep, I'm going to say it, the scooter kid. Alright, I understand everybody's got a problem with the scooter kids, and I can understand what your problem is, because they don't tend to pay attention to what they're doing, they don't watch where they're going, so I definitely understand. I mean, you're at the skate park, you're having a great day with all your buddies, you're about to get this line down, and then in comes the group of scooter kids and they get right in your way. So trust me, I understand the frustration, but I want to go ahead and give my shout out today to them scooter kids, alright, because if it wasn't for scooter kids, we probably would not have skateboards, alright. It is reported that in 1944, a woman by the name of Betty Magnuson, an American Army Corps woman, she was reported seeing French children in Paris rolling on boards with roller skate wheels attached to them, and that was probably the first reported sighting of anybody skateboarding in Paris in 1944. But what it was shortly before that time when them skateboarders were spotted. French kids, they took little planks of wood and they ripped the skateboard axles off their roller skates and they attached them to these planks of wood. And then they attached longer rectangle shaped wood crates up on the end, up onto the plank of wood, and it created a scooter. And that's about where the first skateboard was devised, because eventually somebody decided to take that crate off, and there we had skateboards. So give a shout out to them scooter kids, because they gave us what we loved so much. So now you got your freshly gripped board. Now you need to throw some trucks on that bad boy. So Marshall, he went and he got him some independents to throw on this. Alright, and he got some just standard Phillips head 1.5 inch hardware. Alright, so
Baby blue.
as you can tell, you need some 4 holes to be able to mount your trucks, right?
Yeah.
Haven't done that part of the grip tape yet. I'm going to show you how to do that right here. You just need one of your hardware. Alright, you're going to take it out and you're going to pop it through each of the holes until you feel it come through the other side of the grip, which is going to press your grip out a little bit, so you're going to have to push it back down, get the bubble that you might have created out of it, but you're going to press all four holes through, and then you're going to just come back to the other side and repress them through.
Okay.
Just to kind of push that grip tape that you pushed outward back into the hole, so that it's not a problem out here, but more so a problem nowhere. You know, it's pushed into your wood. So you can do that on both sides. Well, since we're going to go ahead and mount a truck now, go ahead and get all your hardware out. And there you go. You got 4 of your screws right in there. Flip it over. And go ahead and grab your first independent truck and your first independent. He got risers. He got 1/4 inch risers. Go ahead and pop me one of those out.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
God, they're so hard to
Oh,
get out.
they have independent, tough boxes too, folks.
Right?
Give these people credit on their box making. Alright, you pop your first riser on there. And then you pop your first truck.
Oh, no, wrong, right?
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn
The
that
riser.
riser around. Pop your first truck on. Grab 4 of your bolts. And screw those on just until you get all 4 of them on there.
It's starting to look good.
And then you're going to grab you a Phillips head screwdriver, and you're going to grab you a Sk8 tool or a wrench that will fit on the nut side.
Can you hold it?
No, I got it. Alright. And then you're just going to snug them down. You don't want to fully tighten them yet. You just want to get them snug to the wood, because you want even pressure all the way around. You don't want to have one side real tight before you have all 4 of them snug to the wood. You don't want to create any pressure cracks before needed, you know. I mean, hopefully you don't ever need a pressure crack, but you know, don't prevent pressure cracks is what I'm saying, I guess.
Those are some long bolts, I'm not gonna lie. Dude, like, those are so long.
Yeah, they are.
Like, you're just going forever.
Oh God, I don't think I've ever had to screw screws that long.
Were they a little, did I get too big ones? Too many big ones? I know they look fine.
Alright, like I said, just get it snug. And then what I like to do the final tightening process is start on one corner. Of course, you got 4 corners, you know, but now you're gonna actually get some bite in there with the screw until you can get it flush, because you don't want your toe getting caught on that. And then I don't go to the next one beside it or the next one down here. I go completely diagonal across from it. That way it kind of gives it an even pressure, like I said before, you know, prevent pressure cracks before they happen. Then you can go to the next one over. And then diagonally back up. And then you should have even pressure all the way around. Alright, Marshall, I'm gonna let you go ahead and take over and do the next one. There you go. So skateboarding in America was probably born between the late 40s and early 50s because a surfer had caught wind of what happened prior in Paris, France, with the kid taking the milk crate off and using the plank of wood as a skateboard, basically a scooter without a handle. Okay, so surfers in the early 50s caught wind of this, and a Los Angeles, California surf shop by that was owned by a guy named Bill Richards. He made a deal with Chicago Roller Skate Company to produce a set of skate wheels, which they attached to a wooden square board, and they first manufactured these skateboards just to basically give surfers something to do during their downtime. Just a way to keep practicing their surf maneuvers, but now they could do it when the waves were flat. They could do it in the streets of San Francisco and Los Angeles. They could roll down the hills and carve the hills as if they were carving waves, you know, and try to practice and create other different tricks that they could now take to the water. So that is pretty much where the first skateboarders originated, where the first skateboards were manufactured. Alright everyone, we're ready to get down to the last step, and that's getting these wheels assembled and put on. So again, what do we got here, Marshall?
The independent 8x7.
Alright, we've got his bearings.
And then the Rough Rider wheels.
Go ahead and get all this stuff out and ready so we can just bust it out.
Oh, how nice, and they gave me a sticker. Boom. Ooh, so those.
Alright, some nice 56 millimeter Bones Rough Riders, folks.
Feel wonderful.
Great wheels, these are great.
Never lost it.
Alright, now, to go ahead and get your bearings in your wheels, I use my truck. I just go ahead and I take a bearing and I pop it into the back side of the wheel. Pop it on the truck, pop it down into place with my palms like that. Just press down, straighten down. And then you flip it over, you pop in your other bearing. And you do the same thing, put it on the axle, and you press down with your palms until you get the bearing snug into place.
What are these?
Oh yeah, some bearings come with these, I forgot. These bearings actually come with the little spacer that goes in between. So I'm going to go ahead and take out one of the bearings. Use my truck on that too, you know, you just take and put your wheel back onto the axle, and if you get it just to where it's like the bearing is right on the lip of the axle, and then pull it away from itself, and you can pop the bearing right out of the wheel. Alright, so again, press down with your palms to get the bearing in. I'm going to put the spacer in there. Bearing, and then the spacer, and flip it over for the other side. Press it in. And then pop it on the wheel. Pop your washer and your nut on. Finger snug it down. don't finger it, finger snug it. Finger snug it. That was great. First show, and I said some stuff like that. Alright, again with your second wheel, put your bearing on, put the back side of the wheel, press down with your palms until your bearing is in place. Take it off, put your spacer, or put your other bearing, and then your spacer on the axle, flip the wheel over, do the same thing, press with your palms, until you get it snug down. Alright. Oops. Washer shot off there. Alright. Hand snug your nut down.
Oh wow, dude, that's gonna be so loose though.
No, it'll tighten. It still needs to go in a little further.
Does it? Alright. You tighten it real tight, and you'll probably snug right in there.
So then, get your skate tool out and snug your bolt down. You might have to loosen it back up after you snug it down. There you go.
Nice.
Do both sides. Snug it down to where them bearings like just snug right into place, and then give it a little bit of a loosen, like quarter of a turn, and then your wheel should spin nice and freely. And I'll let you go ahead and do the other two. The board is almost complete and ready to shred, folks. I'm hyped. I know Marshall's hyped. He's been waiting for this moment. Woo! Alright, I'm gonna leave you to it. I'm gonna go throw this trash away. Alright.
Originally, skateboarding was called sidewalk surfing, and early skateboarders imitated surfing styles. By the early 1960s, a small number of surfing companies started manufacturing skateboards that resembled small surfboards. And eventually these surfing companies started formulating their own skateboarding teams to promote their products. And in 1963, the founder of Makaha's Surfboards founded the very first skateboard competition held at Pier Avenue Junior High School in Hermosa Beach, California.
There we go.
And there you have it, folks.
Complete.
Marshall's new complete.
Oh, got it upside down.
Looking clean. All fully assembled. So now that you have a full, complete skateboard, now you gotta go out and you got to learn how to shred this thing, folks. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut to our tutorial segment of the show, and we're gonna show you how to push and the getting started, the basics of pushing and getting on your board and riding away clean. What's up, everyone? Welcome to our first tutorial segment of our very first episode. Now that you've got your board completely gripped and assembled, it's time to get rolling. Let's go. Tutorial, we're going to teach you guys how to push the proper way and how to step on your board and get to rolling. So first off, you got to determine whether you're goofy footed or regular footed. Now typically this depends on if you're right-handed or if you're left-handed. You know, typically if you're right-handed, your right foot's going to be your front foot. Typically, if you're left-handed, your left foot's going to be your front foot. Now, sometimes, if it doesn't feel comfortable that way, then it's all about preference. You know, whatever you put the board down on the ground and you get on that board, whatever feels comfortable, just go with the flow. Typically, if you're right-handed, you want your right foot up front. If you're left-handed, your left foot up front. I'm right-handed, so I skate goofy-footed, which means my right foot is in the front. So what you want to do, first off, Put your board down on the ground. Whichever foot you're gonna be pushing with, and whichever foot you're gonna be riding in the front with, get that figured out and go ahead and place your front foot on the board. Now you're gonna wanna place it, if you look down here, you're gonna wanna place it right about where the middle of in between the bolts are. So you can still see the two front bolts, but you can't see the two back bolts. And that's about where your foot's going to be when you start pushing. And your other foot, just go ahead and start pushing with it. Get you a couple good pushes. Feel the balance. How it feels to roll while pushing. Don't have to go fast at first, just take your time, pace yourself, and just see how it feels. Get yourself some good pushes. Now, when you go to step onto your board, you're going to do two things when you step onto your board. Your pushing foot is going to step up onto your tail. And at the same time, in kind of one smooth motion, your front foot is going to turn sideways. So, as you step on, just turn your front foot. Just like when you come back off to push again, your foot should straighten out. Your front foot should straighten out. So, just practice that without even rolling. Just practice. You want to come in a little so you can see what my feet are doing? Just practice stepping up on the board and turning that foot. Coming down, turning it straight. Coming up, turning that foot. Coming down, turning it straight. Alright? Once you have the idea of that, then you can go ahead and give it a couple pushes and step up on it. Roll for a moment, come back down, push a couple times, step up on it. Alright. Now once you have the feel for that, once it feels more natural, more comfortable, you can pick up your speed, give it more pushes, stronger pushes to get your speed going really good, and you'll be able to come off and on your board as many times as you need to get to wherever you need to go. So again, we'll just go ahead and go through the motions, the movements, one last time. Alright, when your front foot gets on the board, it should be straight. And then as soon as you step up on it, turn that foot. Come down, straighten that front foot. Okay, I think you guys probably got the gist of it, and you'll be able to get out there in no time and just give yourself some pushes and roll around. I'm gonna go ahead and let Marshall demonstrate, because I'm goofy footed like I said. Marshall, he's regular footed, so I'm gonna let him go ahead and demonstrate regular foot pushing.
Alright, let me go over here and get my board.
Alright, so there you go.
Alright. Just the same step, but regular. Just the same step, you just easy as that. Nice turns there, and stuff like that, but yeah, all the same. Yeah.
Alright, like you can see, goofy and regular is very similar, just opposite of each other. And once you feel more comfortable riding the board, and once you feel more comfortable pushing and getting onto the board and coming back off to push some more, then you can create your own style, you know. Then you can add style to your riding, you know, add carving, add your turns, add some power slides if you want, you know, and your footing doesn't have to be so uniform with it, I guess you could say. You know, instead of just stepping on and turning your foot and keeping that pose, you can start to kind of walk around the skateboard a little bit and figure out what feels comfortable to you, where your footing should be, where it feels the most comfortable to you to be able to pull off the maneuvers you wish to pull off. But that's pretty much the basics of pushing and getting you rolling. So hopefully after this tutorial, I'll see you out on the streets. Have a good one. Guys, I hope that tutorial helped you out a bunch. If you haven't been on a skateboard before and you've been really wanting to start skateboarding, I hope that tutorial helped you out. And even if you've been skateboarding, I hope you just enjoyed it, you know. And thanks for joining us this Thursday. And if you enjoyed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down there below. You know, the little YouTube symbol. Go ahead and push it. You know you want to push it. Go ahead. And anyway, I had fun. Marshall, I hope you had fun.
Had lots of fun.
And I hope you guys had fun out there. Happy Thanksgiving. See you next Thursday.
I just wanna stay in the sun where I find. I know it's hard sometimes. Pieces of peace in the sun's peace of mind. I know it's hard sometimes. Yeah, I think about the end just way too much. But it's fun to fantasize. All my enemies who wouldn't wish who I was. But it's fun to fantasize. Oh, 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 I'm born. So I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm born. So I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride. I die for you, that's easy to say. We have a list of people that we would take. A bullet for them, a bullet for you, a bullet for everybody in this room. But they don't seem to see many bullets coming through. See many bullets coming through. Metaphorically, I'm the man, but literally, I don't know what I do. I live for you, and that's hard to do. Even harder to say when you know it's not true. Even harder to write when you move it tonight. There were people back home and try talking to you, then you ignore them still. All these questions, they're all real. Like, would you live on? Would you die for that? Would you ever kill? Oh, 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 I'm born. So I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm born. So I'm taking my time on my ride.